Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back. For those of you who are new, welcome to my channel. My name is Joanna the Medium, and also an intuitive coach. Just very quickly, these are obviously general readings and they will not apply to all of you. So take bits and pieces that apply and throw away the rest. Listen to your other signs, your moon sign and your rising sign, as well as your sun sign, as these more often than not will paint a more complete picture of what is happening in your life. What I have noticed over the last year and a half or so from you is that these readings, generally speaking, will not make much sense to you at the very beginning, but they almost always make complete sense to you at the end of the month or the beginning of next. And I have many of you email me personally saying that it made no sense to you at the beginning, and then halfway through or the third week into the month, you listened again and you were shocked how everything was coming out the way it was said. So always listen at the end of the month, because I feel that will connect with you much more so. Also, these are general. I cannot connect with every single one of you. There's thousands of you watching. So if you send me a comment asking how this fits in your life, it's impossible for me to answer that unless, of course, we connect on a one-on-one level. And if that's what you would like, that information is down below, and I would be honored to have a session with you. And I think that's all I have. I wish you a wonderful month of November. Take care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching, for liking and sharing. I look forward to seeing you in December. And for those of you who are celebrating holidays, like in the United States, the Thanksgiving Day, I wish you a wonderful holiday. And without further ado, let's move on to the actual readings. Hello, beautiful Libras. This is going to be a reading for the month of November 2017. Let me tell you, I have 2, 4, 6. I have 8 cards. 6 of those are major arcanas. So there is a whole bunch of things going on in your life, and probably has been for quite some time. And I'm not laughing because it's funny, but when I see this extent of energy, I'm going, oh boy. So just so you know, and I would encourage you to listen, your other signs, your moon sign as well as rising sign, because you will notice that almost every single sign that I have done for the month of November has a component of transition. There's a component of completion, transition, something new on the horizon, epiphanies. You're similar, you're no different. So let me go through, first and foremost, let me go through channeled messages. First of all, thank you so much for being here. One of the things that I saw very clearly is that the entire energy around you is very much geared towards a slow movement to something in the future. Now, what I mean by this is that the time of November, or the month of November, give and take, few weeks here, a few weeks there, may feel very much like a time of contemplation, not a whole bunch of moving parts. So the energy may feel slow. You might actually feel stuck. There may be a tendency for you to rush things, but this is not the time to rush with any major decisions. For the most part, and for most of you, November is a time of deciding and looking at various options and looking at different aspects of your life and asking yourself, what do I want from this? What do I want to do with this? How is this serving me? So many of you will be taking an inventory of your life in the month of November. And I really talk about, global changes and, global universal shifts. But that information has been coming for me, so I will say it to you. That's typically not what I used to do. So let's just bear with me. I believe, from what I'm being shown, that the onset of new energies, of the shift that we are going through, something to do with the 5th dimension, but I don't want to get too quirky here, because you guys know the shift that's happening right now, that is globally, apparently, is triggering things in people and it is triggering epiphanies all over the place. So what this is showing me is that many of you will find yourself feeling spent or feeling resigned, but I don't mean resigned in a bad way. I mean cooked, done. Almost like, I can't do this any longer. And you will be coming up with ideas and epiphanies, light bulb moments as to what it is that you want to do next. Because I hear you say, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? So that's what I saw. For the month of November, it's a slow journey towards something that will be new in the near future or not too distant future. I also saw, and this was shown to me as an interesting metaphor, that the month of November, give or take, is a month of incubation. So the image that I saw was an egg that was placed in my hands, and there was this egg was going to hatch a baby bird. And the egg was put in an incubator in order to give it enough warmth and the nurturing environment for the bird or for the chick to hatch out when the time was right. Obviously, forcing the issue or forcing the process or pressuring the process to happen before it's ready, 9 times out of 10 doesn't yield good results. So this was a metaphor that I'm sure you guys understand, that the month of November is going to be a month of incubation, which is not a whole lot of doing, but a whole lot of providing the right environment in order for your idea to come to its full term before it's hatched. And the hatching process, and this is a metaphor, will happen round around New Year towards the spring. That's the kind of, I'm looking away, time, that's the time frame. I want to say January, February, March. It seems to be, and April. It seems to be somewhere around there for most of you, not for all of you. I also saw that many of you will be providing proper conditions, which are systems or structures for your new reality to be born. So this can mean, or what I'm being shown is, that you will spend your time not only in contemplation and deciding, but also the idea of how you're going to do certain things in the future, or how you are going to arrive at your chosen destination down the road. This will require you to do some research. So this can be obviously work. This could be any area of your life, and I'm talking bigger energy here. So I don't want, if certain examples come up, I'll say it. But right now, it's shown to me as the bigger picture, and this particular context can be applied to any life circumstance or situation. But there seems to be a lot of note taking, which could be notes in your mind, could actually be physically note taking or typing it out. There is a lot of finding out. So you are looking at things in order to come up with certain structures and certain components that eventually will be used in your new reality going forward. Could be a project, could be a relationship, could be work, could be a place to live, could be the new you in some way. Whatever it is, there's a lot of taking notes and gathering information and gathering ideas. I hear the word move. Some of you will be moving. You will be contemplating a move to a new environment, to a new home, to a new location, to a new career path, to a new system. And what do I mean by system? The way you think, the way you look at the world, the way you dress, the way you put on your makeup, if you're male or female, doesn't matter. The way you do hair, the way you relate to people, the type of people you date, whatever it is, the kind of coffee you drink, anything, there is a shift that is underway. And he's saying to me that many of you have been feeling it for quite some time. And for some of you, it might feel a little bit like the rug is slowly being pulled from underneath you. Now, it's not shown to be like, vroom, and it's gone. It's slightly, gently being pulled so that you can see that things are shifting and changing, but you're not, cold and flat out on your face because it's happening so quickly. So this seems like has been process. There's been process that's been happening for quite some time. I also heard them say to you, respect time. Things takes time to realize to its full potential. And what this is saying here is that this is not time to rush into anything of importance. This is a time to gather ideas and to prepare in order for whatever it is that you're going to take on will have a stable foundation. And the image was being shown to me. It was actually brilliant because I was shown a castle being built, and they said the structure called castle is built brick by brick. Without one brick, the castle will not feel stable, and therefore the structure may fall apart. So this is a metaphor. With that came patience and perseverance. So it may not be a lot of time of doing. It will be more time of feeling and contemplating, but that's okay because I feel like just around the corner, you will be busy with the doing part. Right now is the time of preparing. I saw the magician in my mind, and interestingly enough, 10 minutes later, the magician showed up in your spread. So there's definitely brand new beginning, taking on a brand new venture, using new skills. Magicians create. So there's very much a creativity coming forward for you. I also saw the number 8. 8 is a very strong foundation. It's the number of abundance. It's an auspicious number. Strength is the card. The traditional tarot card stands for strength. So there's a lot of strong energy around this, or you are working on building something strong, a strong foundation going forward. Now, going through the cards, in a position of what you are leaving, of what is behind you already, you have 2 cards that came up. And the first one is the Emperor in reverse, and the second one is the 7th chakra, both in reverse. Reverse will mean different things to me. The moment I saw the crown chakra in reverse, I heard the word headache. So this card says authority in this particular deck, but this is basically, well, it's the Emperor. Typically, this stands for someone who is like a father figure, a boss, someone who has a lot of masculine energies, someone who can be quite controlling. So what I'm feeling here is that in your recent past, you dealt with somebody who was very restrictive to you. This could be a father figure, this could be a husband, partner, it could be a wife who is very domineering. There's a lot of rigidity with this, and I feel like I'm getting a huge headache. And I also feel like I'm breaking inside. So many of you are leaving or have recently thought of leaving an oppressing situation. This is most likely in relationships, and the reason why I say this, because this card showed up at the very end when I said, what is this all about? And 2 of Cups came up. So this is a relationship, a union. Now, union could also signify that you are leaving an oppressive situation at work. You may be leaving an oppressive environment. It could be a home where you live in and it feels like the walls are closing on you because the environment no longer serves you or is what you want. But there is an emotional component to it, and the word rigidity is coming back over and over. So some of you are leaving or have left a rigid environment, rigid structure, a rigid partner who has given you a headache. So that's in the past. In the position of now, 2 cards came up, both major arcanas. The Lovers in reverse and Magician. What this is telling me is that in the month of November, give or take, you may feel slightly unbalanced. You may feel disorganized. You may feel like you don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. There's a sense of finality with this. And what I mean by that is there's a sense of you being at the edge of completion. You're not quite there, but you're almost at the edge of it, which makes sense to me because they kept talking about you're in a slow journey towards a brand new beginning, which isn't at your door yet, but there's a preparatory mode, or you're preparing for it in the month of November and some December. The Magician card, again, signifies that you're going to undertake a brand new venture. You're starting to create. Brand new skills might start coming to you. Brand new awareness, as the card indicates. This is a card of creation. But the creation process is as a result of you feeling unbalanced, being in this harmony with somebody else, being in on a completely different page as somebody else, and no longer feeling like you are on the same page, which is what I just said. And so this is acting as a it's a significant piece because it's acting as a, not resource, what's the word I'm looking for, please? Catalyst, thank you. So you feeling disharmony and you feeling unbalanced, whether it is with a lover, partner, work, some other situation, it is that imbalance that's going to trigger a brand new awareness. What is influencing this? The card of Chariot came up. The way that it landed on my desk, the way I felt it right away, which may be different for those of you who read cards, I feel like you can't wait to get away from something. And with all your might, you're trying to get the hell out of there. That is how I'm feeling it, and that's how I'm hearing it. Now, you're being guided by your intuition. This card also signifies to me a move, which we talked about before. So you are being influenced by an energy of wanting to move forward with something, but something that is fundamentally different. Something that is driven by your intuition, also intellect, but also something that's driven by your intuition. There's very much a need to start something new, to see something different, to be somebody else than what you have been used to up until this point. And what I'm being shown is that, again, the chick and the incubator, it's like the brand new is in a process of hatching. You're not hatched yet, but the culmination process, the process where your environment is nurturing to making the new you come into its full form and full term so that you can be born or reborn or hatched in the near future. And I'm hoping that you understand this. There is definitely an element of you leaving something behind. I'm being shown the image of emotionally withdrawing from something. There's a sense, there's more things I wrote here. There's a sense of you contemplating, which we talked about. The other thing they talked about is daydreaming and imagining the new you, your new life. So there's very much, you'll find yourself wanting to get away and be alone. Many of you. You will feel like, I actually wrote, want to be left alone, to just be away from others and noise. Finding yourself once again. So it looks to me like you are, there's definitely a brand new version being born as we speak. The brand new you hasn't come in yet, but there's definitely a process of that coming to full term in the very near future, which also signifies parts of you and parts of your life have to go, because some parts for you, some of you, many parts, will not serve you, the new you, where you're going. This is not something bad. This is actually something that is very freeing, that is very I hear the word auspicious. So there is, for some of you, this is going to be work related, but this is fundamentally you looking at your new future, bright future, and figuring out how to put the structures together or how to build it brick by brick. And that takes planning, that takes resources, which we talked about. You're going to look at different resources, and that takes patience and perseverance. So it doesn't feel like the month of November is going to be a month of a whole lot of doing. It feels like it's more a whole lot of being or figuring out, contemplating on what it is that you want to do or be down the road in the near future. What is in front of you, or the position of future, interestingly enough, is the card of Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Again, major arcana. Again, this talks about inevitable change of circumstances, a completion, change of circumstances that will more likely than not change your environment in some way, shape, or form. This is about moving forward with something that may not have been contemplated for a long time. Now, what do I mean by that? It's not a quick action, but it is something that you came to, a realization that you came to, I want to say within the last 2 months, within the last so 2 weeks or 2 months. So count back from whenever you're hearing this, and if this makes sense to you, you'll know. Because this card came up when I was shuffling the cards and saying, what is this about? The Two of Cups, it tells me that it's to do with a union, it's to do with a commitment, it's to do with partnership. So some of you will be leaving a partnership. Some of you will be preparing for a partnership. And in order to prepare for a partnership, oftentimes we have to take inventory of who we are and how we have done things, and ask ourselves, has this been working for me? No, it hasn't. If it hasn't been working, does it make sense for me to do it all over again? Because chances are it's not going to work again. And if that's the case, what do I need to do in order to change so that I can attract or be who I want to be down the road? That is what's being said to me. That's what's being signified. When I added all the cards, it came to number 10 once again. So there's definitely a culmination here that's happening. Again, this is a transition. I don't feel many of you will be marching forward with something new. This will happen in the near future, but I don't feel it's going to happen in November. And 6, he showed me the number 6, which is also the number of nurturing. So take the month of November, if you can, in order to nurture your new ideas, your newfound ideas, your newfound epiphanies. Take time to look at it, contemplate it, imagine it, and see what needs to be done in order for you to put it into existence or make it real, make it a solid reality. And this concept will apply to every single aspect of your life, or any aspect of your life. So take this where it applies to you. It may not apply, obviously, with everybody. I asked for 2 additional cards just to see what else we could get. So I said, what other messages do you have? The first card is Observer. This is Colette Reed's, Baron Reed, her cards, wonderful cards. It's in position of, what's the word? I'm going to say it reverse because I forgot the word, protection. And what this is saying here is, you're feeling stuck, and if so, it's time to look for a new perspective. It's time to start looking at your situation from different angles. Start looking at your life from a different perspective. The image that's being given, which is what I believe I've given to another sign, could be your other sign. If you are standing in front of a mountain and you're standing at the foot of it, and you look up, you're seeing mountain. You can't see anything else because it's huge. So your perspective is very close. If you are at the top of the mountain, you are seeing the entire existence surrounding the mountain, but you're not really seeing the mountain itself. So your entire perspective changes. And when we are looking from a higher perspective, we can see things not only much more clearly, but we can see things we haven't been able to see before. And this, of course, is a metaphor. So you are being asked to look at your situation from a different point of view, through different set of lenses, different set of glasses, in order to gain clarity. Sometimes when we are needing to move forward and we are wanting to let go of something, we may feel like we don't know what's happening. We may feel like we don't know where we're going, and we may actually feel very confused. That's okay. It's part of the process. But when we look at certain, and sometimes we may not even be sure that we want to leave something. And so there becomes this moment of doubt. But if you look at your situation from different perspectives, you'll be able to see much clearly what it is that you are trying to accomplish, or what it is that you're trying to leave behind, just to give you more clarity. Always listen to your intuition. The other thing is the card of why came up. And this is particularly important because this card talks about, the message here is, it is crucially important for you to now more than ever be aware of the reasons why you want what you want. Be very aware of your motives. For example, if you are wanting to be in a relationship, and this is just an example, you're desperate to be in a relationship. Oh my God, I need to be in a relationship. What is the motive behind this? What is it that you are actually seeking? And the reason why this is being asked of you is because oftentimes we want things so bad without understanding why we want it. The moment we have it, we realize, holy crap, it's not giving me what I wanted, because the very thing that you need, you're not addressing. So if you are looking for a partner, for example, and you are desperate, where is the desperation coming from? Is it coming from the fact that you are afraid of being alone? Is it coming from the fact that you want someone to make you feel good? Is it coming from the fact that you feel that you don't want to be alone, or you need someone to protect you? Be very, very mindful of why you are after something. Because chances are, if you go for what you are trying to get without understanding your motive, more often than not, you may find yourself being very regretful. Same idea. If you are leaving something, ask yourself the question, what is it that I'm trying to accomplish by letting this go? Very important. If you are trying to accomplish the fact that you're going to feel more, I don't know, there's a gazillion different reasons. I'm going to ask for, what's a specific example that I could give them? If you are trying to get away from a certain situation because it's triggering you feeling not good enough, then chances are, if you put yourself in a different circumstance, you're going to feel the same thing, because the good enoughness part has not been addressed. So I think you guys get the picture. I don't want to go too long because it's already quite long a message. But be very mindful why you do the way you do, or what is behind your motives. Because then you will be able to very clearly understand what it is that you're seeking. And a lot of the things that we seek are things that need to be addressed from within, because outside environment will never give it to us. So it's an important lesson in this, they're saying, particularly because many of you are starting very shortly on a be journey. So if you're going to go after things, be careful what you ask for. Be careful, not be careful. Yes, be careful what you ask for, because when you get it, you may realize that's not what you want. But also, until you really realize what it is that you're after, you're not going to know what you're looking for, because you'll be looking for the wrong thing. And there's number 9 is being shown to me. So many of you will be ending struggles, inner struggles, outer struggles, situations that don't work. You'll be parting ways with partnerships, or at least thinking about it. And that's a good thing, because you are in the process of a brand new beginning. Brand spanking new. So I hope this made sense. And of course, if this doesn't make sense to you, listen to it at the end of the month. And if it doesn't make sense to you at all, it may not be for you. This is a general reading, so it may not apply, to everyone. Take what applies, leave what doesn't, and if you want to comment how this applies to your life, I would love to read it. And if you would like a private session to see how this fits with you, of course, that information is down below for you, and I would be honored to have a session with you. Until December, I wish you a wonderful month of November. Thank you so much for watching, sharing, liking, and subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you in December. Take care.